Daniel, real quick, what's going on with this mayor who's helping out the poorest residents in his hometown?
Okay, so this I'll make a very quick story. So this I thought a lot of the Yang Gang people would appreciate. So when Mayor Michael Tubbs of Stockton, California, suggested giving residents in his city $500 a month with no strings attached, he wasn't floating a new idea. He got the idea from Martin Luther King Jr., proposed a guaranteed minimum income for citizens in 1967. The idea had gained a national platform in 2020 thanks to Andrew Yang, who has promised to deliver payments of $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year to all U.S. citizens over 18. And Tubbs did this as a test case in February. So the money is distributed through the mail in the form of debit cards. Most participants found that they used most of their money to buy groceries and pay bills, because there was always a big argument. People just buy alcohol. It's always the rich people telling the poor people that they're going to waste their money. About 40% of the money was spent on food. 24% was on sales and merchandise. For example, going to Walmart or dollar stores. Another 11% went to utilities. 9% went to buying gas and repairing their cars. About 16% was divided among categories like medical expenses, transportation, insurance, recreation, and self-care. And the data shows that the program's participants, 43%, have a full or part-time job. And specifically that only 2% were unemployed and not actively seeking work. The program is designed to go for 18 months, and there's about 10 months to go. I thought this was an interesting little story to go a few ways. One point is, to all the rich people that keep, it's very, very, I don't know, I don't like using the word offensive, but that's the right point, that, those poor people, they're just going to buy drugs and alcohol, and they're just going to drink themselves if they don't work for me or have a job that I pay them for. This takes that and throws that entire idea away. Second, it goes to the point that if there is a UBI out there, people seem to use it on the hierarchy of needs, and they pay their bills, they buy groceries, they do things that, the same spending habits that you would expect. And I think it's very interesting that this mayor is going with this experiment. I like experimentation. I like I like it when governments do things or try new things like they used to, not current governments which talk about how little money can we spend on the regular people and how many tax breaks can we get. So congratulations on Tubbs. And I learned before the show that he does not like Andrew Yang.
Yeah,
so that's interesting.
There's a little bit of a conflict. He's not supportive of Andrew Yang's UBI, the $1,000 UBI, and plus he has, he said he probably would potentially endorse one of the presidential candidates, and this was an article that I just recently came to my attention as well. And at the end of it, he does mention a presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, who he's mentioned is a mentor and close advisor and good friend. So I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I agree with what he's doing, like helping out his constituents. But then when you're saying you're going to support Kamala Harris and she's a good friend, and then also you're challenging Andrew Yang's UBI and saying that's going to cut social safety nets, I mean, that's a pretty bold statement to make. But I mean, Paul, what's the final
it's not all that unusual, really, even particularly given the numbers he's talking about. A $500 a month equivalent UBI via tax credit is exactly what Kamala Harris's platform idea is. In fact, she kind of had a tone-deaf sort of moment when she was explaining that particular tax credit plan to a group of United Auto Workers strikers who were like, they're not going to get all super riled up about a real fancy, smashy, technocratic tax credit. They want wages and health care and better working conditions, and they have specific demands, and tax credits are not part of them. Read the room, Kamala Harris.
Just saying like Pete Buttigieg had a hard time even reading the room in regards to talking to union strikers. I mean, come on.
But here's the other thing, that it's also just very top-downy. It's I should have a better word than that. Anyway.
Top-downy works.
Top-downy works? Okay. You plebs. So this is them saying, okay, I'll just take the Walmart worker example. An average worker at Walmart generates about $83,000 for the company every single year. They're paid about $15,000, $20,000. I know their wages have gone up since that statistic I memorized. But even if it's 25,000, there's still a giant gap in that labor. So I'm not sure people, I mean, I could be wrong on this, people that are making a gap of where they're profiting their company $50,000 probably aren't that big on the idea of, how, but what if the government paid me $500 a month, $6,000 a year of taxes that I pay because corporations don't pay them? That's basically like paying the government money so the government can send the money back. So, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.